Hey! Hey, you're in my chair. What are you guys doing here? Hey!
It's called rehearsal, dumbass.
Rehearsal? You rehearsed this show? Oh, wow!
Hey, young America, we need to talk. You may think this is uncool, you may even think it is bogus, but I want to tell you about something that has everyone buzzing. Something that concerns mature boys and girls just like you.
It's the Sibling Rivalry with Jeremy, Aaron, and Stacy.
Traditionally, there is a main guy, a laughing guy, and a baffled and shocked woman.
It's so good, I want to put it in my mouth.
If I were to do an impression of that was just sounds, it would be burr, 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 burr. Oh, fellas.
Now in their 10th year of neglecting responsibilities and making poor choices, it's the Sibling Rivalry Podcast.
Warm up the thing.
Warm it up.
It's the 534th episode of the Sibling Rivalry Podcast. Man, have we got a show for you tonight. We have a very special guest we've been excited to talk to for weeks. I'll let Maya tell you who it is.
Hey, Maya, who's coming up on the show?
Andy Kindler.
Is he really funny?
Yeah.
Are you going to listen?
Yeah.
So there you go. Andy Kindler's going to be here in just a minute. And actually probably in about...
The show's not made for children under the age of 18.
Right, not recommended for minors. We're in about 10 minutes or so. We'll talk with Andy Kindler. What are you waving at? What do you need? What's the deal?
It's still playing
What?
on your device.
No, it's not
there.
playing a thing.
I can hear it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Quit making up words. Hey, we have some huge announcements. The first one, very exciting. Not the biggest. I'm gonna save the big story for the end. But the first announcement is coming soon to Spotify. Our little podcast.
Ooh.
Wow.
Now,
that's crazy.
That Spotify, that's a thing on the internet that all the kids know about.
That's all the kids? That's where they
That's
go?
for music, though.
Not anymore.
What? Yeah.
Spotify is opening up their playlist to talk content, particularly podcasts. And we're going to be part of that little experiment. So sometime in the next...
Oh, so we're going to be getting paid.
Yeah, right. We will continue to work for the same rate we've worked for 10 years.
No,
Nothing.
This is an on-show meeting. We didn't talk about this, but I think we should get all... I knew I was going to forget her name. Who's the pretty blonde lady? Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Oh, God.
Let's get all Taylor Swift on their asses and pull our show
right.
out of protest.
You can't play our show. Tens of people are trying to get it. Tens, I tell you.
But maybe we'd make the news.
Spotify will feature our show because we just want to be heard. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's not about the money.
Yeah.
It's not about the fame. It's not about the fortune.
Well,
Trust me, it's been 10 years and
right.
no fame and no fortune.
We just need the love.
We just need the love.
We need it. Yeah.
Or just a listen.
I'm getting a phone
You're
call.
getting
All
a phone
right.
call. This is
Well,
a very professional start
It's
for
going
us.
swimmingly so far.
This is
Yeah.
the reason we're going to be on Spotify. It's
Right.
professionalism like
Right.
this, a tight show.
Yeah.
We're the big time here. Right, Andy Kindler? We'll get his answer later.
Warm up the thing. Warm up the thing, Jeremy. Warm it up.
It was Taylor Swift. She said I can't use her name on our
Stop
podcast.
calling her Tyler Swift. You sound like a moron.
I'm pretty sure I can get Tyler Swift.
Yeah,
I can get her
Tyler
on
Oh,
the
it's
show.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, we can
Sorry,
get
Taylor
Tyler
Swift.
Tyler Swift will join us next week.
Hi, I'm Tyler
I'll
Swift.
look her up in the phone book. Hi, is this Tyler? What?
Oh, you're a different person. I
So-
see.
Is
Okay.
Tyler Swift really fat?
He's very handsome. I think he played with Aerosmith. We're gonna so we're gonna be on Spotify in just a few months, sometime. So we'll keep you posted, but get yourself accustomed to the Spotify because we're gonna be there and iTunes and everywhere else. Now for the big announcement.
Yeah.
Big stinky announcement.
Yes.
We got a 10th anniversary coming up. I don't know if you've heard.
We do.
I don't know if you've heard. So
Well, I heard.
it's been kind of a secret.
Yeah.
We haven't made a big deal about it. Celebrating this 10th year of podcasting.
We don't talk about it every single show. Almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost never every show.
It's not in our introduction or anything.
But we've decided to do something different. We've decided to do something special to commemorate the 10th anniversary of this show. So we're going to put our ugly mugs on a stage and sing and dance for you monkeys. Maybe not so much with the singing or the dancing.
Yeah, we should do that too.
But
yeah.
with the dick jokes,
Yeah.
and the funny,
Sure.
and the things,
Sure.
it's going to be a
Don't
good
forget
time.
fart jokes.
Oh, and the fart our go-to,
Yeah.
the fart jokes.
Yeah.
But here's what I can tell you.
Vagina jokes.
Here's what I can tell you. A few details to announce at this point, but safe to say that you can save the date, August 21st, 7 or 8ish, somewhere around there. And
in the evening.
In the evening time.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a brunch. Don't worry.
No brunch. Don't be ridiculous.
It's a brunchiversary.
Yeah.
We're gonna team up with our new friends over at Jet City Improv that night, and we will combine forces. We will do our thing where we tell you about the fart jokes and the butt jokes and all the butt stuff, and then the improv actors will take over. They'll reenact the story. They'll tell it from a different perspective. They'll
put their own spin on
what
we just said.
Nonsense.
Yeah, and people should definitely show up because this could either go very, very well,
or even better,
or very, very wrong.
I don't see how.
Either
it's
way,
going to work.
you will be entertained.
I can promise you this: I will script nothing.
Right.
I will plan nothing.
We're doing it live.
We're gonna roll in.
We're doing it live.
And if we have to, we'll take a poop on the stage. If that's what it takes to get a laugh.
We'll sing and dance a little when
Well,
if it gets weird. Yeah.
You'll accidentally poop in your pants.
Well,
'cause you'll be nervous.
that's a given. Yeah, I'll be.
Is there going to be a rehearsal? Do you think?
There will be a technical dry run where we just make sure
For the sake of finding out if the equipment works.
Make sure all the fart sound effects work and that you can hear them.
This is going to be a disaster.
It's going to be a huge disaster.
Yeah.
That's what we ought to call the event.
A huge disaster.
10th anniversary show, a huge disaster.
A disaster in the making for 10 years.
Yes, it's taken us 10 years to get up the courage to humiliate ourselves like we do week in and week out, but in front of your face.
We're scared, but
I'm not so scared.
Well, you will be.
I'm really not.
You will be. I am right now. I'm a little bit.
Are you?
A little.
I'm
But,
not.
So
it'll be
is
fine.
this going to be this? So this isn't going to be like a retrospective greatest hits.
Right, it's gonna be a clip
like
show.
What happened to you on Tuesday afternoon going to the grocery
Right, no,
store.
we had talked about finding best of stories
Yes.
that over the 10 years we've told, and kind of breathing new life into them, telling them again. But that's boring.
That takes work.
It takes work, and to try and put the magic back into those stories. We've been talking about the fact that so much of what works on this show is what was never intended to exist.
Yeah, and you can't recapture the magic. Once it's out there, you can't do it.
So-
over
All I
again.
know, you guys got to be picking up hitchhikers.
Right.
You got to be like streaking down Elliott Ave.
For the sake of
you
the
know.
listener, they better hope that we have really exciting lives this summer, because if we roll in that week with nothing to talk about,
Oh, we'll
Right.
figure it out. But yeah,
A disaster
we
10
should,
years. in the
we
making.
should probably do something.
Hey!
We should do something that week.
hey everybody, we would like to open the show with a little Q&A. Anyone? A question? Anyone? No, really, anyone?
Right.
Anyone? Anyone?
Oh,
Anyone
God.
You in the
still
back, you
here.
moved. It was an itch?
Go with
That was
it.
just an itch?
We have to sing and dance now. We have to sing and dance. I'll get the jug band. Where's the jug band?
Stomp's here, everybody. It's Stomp.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should
Stacey, you get to start offering sexual favors
come on.
to the members
Come
of the
on.
audience.
Hey, we could charge more. We
What?
could charge more. That'd be a thing.
I'm just saying if it starts going bad.
Right.
Let me just interject here.
So that's the big
hate you
news.
guys.
That's the big news.
That's the big news.
Download yourself some Spotify and set the date on your calendar. Set a reminder.
August 21st.
August 21st.
It's a Friday night.
7-ish. And by the way, it's actually Friday. That's another
Actually Friday.
That's another possible
Yes.
name. We're trying to come up with a name for this thing.
Actually
This one could be
Friday.
Actually Friday.
Yes.
See,
very
that'd be a good
nice.
follow-up.
Hey, Jeremy, you know what? I'm going to give you a little something
See?
for that. It's actually Friday.
My brain doesn't fully function until we're doing the show,
I
and even
know,
then,
right?
it's like 40%.
Yeah. Well,
So-
that's pretty good. You're pretty good at 40%. There we go.
I'm just
Stacey, I picked you for giving out the sexual favors because no one would want to have sex with Jeremy.
It's true. It's true.
That's why. That's why I picked
really
you.
true.
You're by default.
right. It's not. Don't think of it as an insult.
Right.
It's
Oh,
really.
yeah.
It's really.
That's a total compliment.
It's a
Yeah.
compliment for you is an insult for
Right.
us.
Right. I'll be like Lucy
Yes.
with the thing, blowjobs 5 cents.
Warm up the
right?
thing.
Warm up the thing. Warm up the thing.
Show title: Warm up the thing. All right, here's the thing. We gotta give our friend Andy Kindler a call and laugh and have a good time with him. I gotta ask him about David Letterman's retirement. Andy was a big part of the Letterman show, of the
Yeah.
Late Late Show. So if he's not crying too much, hopefully we can get him to talk a little bit about that experience and his relationship with Dave. We'll talk about his appearance on the new season of Marin. I believe his next episode comes out next Thursday. I think that one features Andy, if I've got my notes correct.
I think so, yeah.
So we're going to do that. Aaron, you've got a thing to do. You got to go do a thing.
I should go do a thing.
So you go do a
yes.
thing. But right now, let me pick up the phone and we'll give Andy a call.
Hello?
Oh, my God. Are you Andy Kindler?
Yes, I am.
Andy Kindler, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
A random cold call.
You know us so well.
Sibling rivalry.
Hey, in all seriousness, thanks so much for talking with us tonight. I know you have...
You've interrupted me in a Twitter war.
Oh,
Who are you in a Twitter war with?
Ron Fournier. I can't stand pundits. I can't stand. They make me sick. I mean, everybody within the sound of my voice. I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway.
Hey, in all seriousness, thank you so much for talking to us, because I know you have way better things to do than to talk to us.
Yeah, we really
So
appreciate it.
busy. So many things to do.
So many Twitter wars to have.
The last thing I need is you guys up my ass.
Well, we warmed up the thing. We warmed up the thing for you.
We did. We warmed up the thing, so we had to follow through.
I think I'm on something. I must be on something. Oh, my God, the ibuprofen. It's the ibuprofen.
Oh, yeah. That'll get you all hopped up.
Yeah, I got to watch that.
So what's your Twitter war about? What are you guys fighting over?
Oh, this is a guy, Ron Fournier. I can't stand, hold on one second. I'm doing a podcast, honey. Who's my wife, Susan? Oh, she said, you really can hear me from down the hall? We don't have any soundproofing, and I have the loudest voice in the show. Oh, let me turn the TV off too. How about that?
What are you watching?
He's like these people who, first of all, I'm not even that big of a Hillary fan, but these people are going to make me want to vote for Hillary with the emails, and I mean, I am going to vote for Hillary. So I mean, I love Obama. I'm voting for Hillary, but I'm not a huge Hillary fan.
Yeah.
But every day they go on and on about her emails and with the smearing that they've been doing since, I mean, I was going over how many of these things have been. Vince Foster's suicide, Travelgate. Remember the time that Bill Clinton held up a plane on a tarmac?
Right. They are stretching. They are really stretching for her, because I think last time they already beat her up enough. They got nothing left.
I mean, she's going to win now. And, I didn't think she ran a great campaign last time. I loved it, and I'm a huge fan of Obama. But, I mean, I hope that a lot of people react like me. They, will turn people into fans by the way they're still saying Benghazi.
I know.
It's great.
The thing going for Hillary really is her opponents. I mean, it really does seem more like a Saturday morning cartoon cast running against Hillary Clinton.
Except for Ted Cruz. Now, that guy makes sense. I mean,
does he make sense for America?
And when you first hear him, you go, it sounds like an insane madman, right? But then you hear him a couple more times, and you go, you know what? I like the cut of his chin. First of all, when you can get, I don't know what happens to these politicians. There's that color black that they put in their hair does not exist in the universe.
Right.
Their hair is so, I mean, why don't you go with a green screen haircut? I don't know what I'm saying.
Like, who's that guy? The guy who I call Damien.
Damien?
That has the black hair. God, what's his name?
The Texas governor, Rick Perry? Is that who you're thinking of?
No.
I don't know.
Man. I'm okay.
Cool story, bro.
I know, right?
Cool story, bro.
I just can't even think of his name. He was a thing a while ago.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. Is it Rick Santorum?
No.
Give me a clue. I'll get
God,
it.
why am I blanking? They had a picture of him like lifting weights.
Don't bring God into this.
Oh God, what was his deal?
The congressman had like to leave office.
He's got the blue eyes and the black hair, and he looks like Damien.
Oh, that is. Oh, wait a second. What's his name? Used to the vice president candidate used to Paul.
Something.
Paul Ryan is his name. We
Okay.
can't even remember.
Thank you.
Guy
Thank
who ran
you.
for vice president.
Good Lord, why did I even bring that up?
Why did you bring that
I
up?
don't know.
You know what? A lot of podcasts are afraid to have fumbling 3 or 4 minutes for people who are trying to remember.
We're not afraid of that.
You
No,
guys
clearly.
are cutting edge.
Hey, you know what we did? We looked at Letterman. We went, if he can do it, well, then we can do it. We got to talk about Letterman.
Yes.
Oh, I was in I had no idea I was going to be in this montage, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from my brother on the East Coast. I don't have. A lot of people think I have a satellite feed, that I have a mansion, that I have a speedboat.
You don't?
You don't have a
Well,
speedboat?
I do, but I just want to say a lot of people think that. So I had no idea that it was going to be that they were going to show my photo. So
Yeah,
I'm
in that final montage at the end of the show.
and I was thrilled.
I'm surprised. I thought you would be there. I thought you would go to the show.
That's the only thing that sticks in my craw. Why was I not a guest for the whole last show?
Right. You should have been the guest, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, is this not all about me?
Right.
This retirement?
That show was not as much about you as you're comfortable with.
Right.
I have to tell you, it hasn't hit me yet. Well, it kind of has hit me, but you know, and of course, I've said this for years and years. It never mattered who got the red. I mean, 40 years from now, nobody's going to remember. The only Jay Leno that will be remembered was from the 80s when he used to go on Letterman and he was funny. But Letterman's the man, and that's not to put down the ladies, but he's the man. And,
he is. Yeah.
And I can't even believe it. I'm going to be mourning this forever.
That was hard. I mean, it wasn't hard to watch. It was a fantastic show, but it was oddly emotional for me. Letterman's a guy who when I was a kid, my brother, who usually does the show with us, he watched it because he's 5 years older and I was a kid. And when I stayed up late enough, like I didn't get the jokes, but I knew that it was cool to be watching him, so I felt like I was part of that club. And then as I got older and I realized that, I started to get the jokes and I really realized what genius I was watching, I just fell in love. And then he was on for so long that I took it for granted the last few years, and I really didn't watch that much. So to come back last night and watch that farewell, I teared up a little bit.
Yeah, you can't help. The thing about it is that, when they say, can someone be replaced, no one will ever replace Letterman because he really is one of a kind. And, I'm older than you guys, and I'm also they just found out, they looked at my fossils, and they said that I'm over 300 million years old. But no, I remember Johnny Carson, but really Letterman was more for my generation, the king.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, you can't even think about replacing him because nobody will be like him. And his ability to be sarcastic and just the whole, subvert. I've said this a million times, but it's like being subversive without trying to consciously be. Bill Maher thinks he says some kind of horribly insulting thing and then looks at the audience like, so you don't like it? Well, I just said it. He thinks that's like edgy.
Right,
but
right.
David Letterman was real edgy because he was just really did define the comedic form in terms of like deconstruction. Did I just say define the comedic form?
Yes, that was very heady. That was up there. Well done. Well done. How well do you know Dave? Are you and Dave friends?
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, that I would not have ever been doing these field pieces if it wasn't for him. The only reason why I did the field pieces was because he wanted me to do them, and so that was my dream to be on his show. So no, it doesn't matter what happens in the rest of my life. I feel like it really can't get better than this. But it's like I would. Even if he gave me his home phone number, or I would be scared to call him because I feel like he felt, he's often talked about that way about with Johnny, how he felt about Johnny.
Right.
It's like I feel like people like Bill Murray and Michael Keaton are his peers, and they can go back and forth with him. I always felt a deference to him, and I think that was appropriate. But we did get to talk. The only time we ever got to talk was in when I would show a field piece and he would talk to me during when the field piece was on, and that was always a thrill.
Really?
And then
So
when
there
I
was
got
no
hurt,
there was no kind of back and forth, like, but like you didn't hang out backstage like before the show and talk about the show or your life or anything like that.
No, none of that. But he did. Like one time, I got I got hurt at the toy fair in a pogo stick, and it, like almost really broke my back almost.
Oh my
and every
God.
time I would come on the show, he would say, "You really should sue us. You have to sue us." So he cracked me. But what I did get, what did happen to me that was like amazing was, I did. Someone told me how many spots I've done. And of course, I'm not saying I don't look at them myself, but I thought I did 42 appearances. I've done 40 appearances, like 8 stand-up and then 32 of the field pieces. So in addition to being in the same dressing room, like maybe the Beatles were in, or and all that kind of amazing history of the Ed Sullivan Theater, Jeremy Weiner, who's one of the writers and the guy who just was hilarious and produced the pieces. Because of that, I got to go into the editing bay. So I did get to spend a lot of time hanging around the offices, and that would never have happened if I wasn't doing the pieces. So I did feel like I was part of like the inside crew. It was cool.
That's really cool. What an amazing thing to take with you. Now that show's over, that's just.
Are you saying I'm dying or something?
No. I just mean that's what an amazing dream come true to have all those memories to take. That would be incredible. I don't even know how. I don't even have a goal big enough to compare that if I accomplished it would be as good as that.
Right. Well, I planned to. I was going to make some kind of joke like that. This is like an Ashton Kutcher prank. He found out I'm terminally ill and told you that, but it wasn't funny, so I couldn't do it. No, this is something that I will not only never forget and will stay with me my whole life. I will also be lording it over people.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Why bother doing it if you can't do that?
If I can't make other people feel less than, what's the point of being in comedy?
Really?
Well, if we're going to talk about making people feel less than, let's talk about the future of late night TV with Jimmy Fallon, because I know you're a big fan.
Jimmy Fallon. I know. I actually have done that imitation so many times that I'm making myself sick. But I do. It's like, and the thing is, everything he does goes viral, and I can't even get my viruses to go viral. This guy, he's the anti-Letterman. I like curmudgeons. I mean, I like all curmudgeons. I mean, Andy Rooney. I've been doing a joke that Andy Rooney has been dead 3 years and still complaining in the coffin.
Yeah.
Why do they? I don't want to be in a coffin. I should have gotten cremated. My eyebrows were getting long before I died. Imagine how long they are now.
Oh my God, that's a good impression.
And you know what I say? Too soon. But Jimmy, I can't watch anybody. He just doesn't know. Well, the ultimate tragedy was Leno, because everybody who knows Leno knows that he doesn't know anything about music. He doesn't know anything about sports. So there's he has kind of an empty head. He knows about cars.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Fallon, it's not like he knows nothing about. He knows a lot about music, but I don't get the feeling that he's curious about the world. And just this whole cheerleading thing, I don't want to see that cheerleader. I mean, sure, when a Mr. James Corden, when James Corden dances around the set, that's different. I'm being sarcastic, but without comedy, I think it's a problem. James Corden, I don't know if you watch the show, but he always has these gimmicks like, "Hey, we're going to introduce us on the show and show them in their dressing room." Well,
Yes.
that's revolutionary.
Yes, that's so cheesy. I've tried to watch the show because I loved Ferguson and I wanted the Late Late Show to be hilarious and great, and it's not anymore. It's just bad.
Well, the gimmicks they would do, like, let's bring out all the guests for this month and introduce them at the same time. It's good. But, I wanted to like Ferguson, and I think Ferguson was funny, but I listened to him interviewed on Mark Maron's WTF, I really, Andy, don't mention a rival podcast.
Oh no, we've been begging Mark to come on the show
we
for a
love
while
his
now.
show.
We are
Yeah.
huge fans.
Yeah, huge fans.
I'll get on that.
Thank you, thank you.
But when he was on Marin, I really kind of, I'm good at, I think I'm like an armchair diagnostician of what people's problems are,
Yeah.
So his problem is he doesn't want to look like he's trying too hard or that he cares too much. So he does this thing. Well, first of all, he used to joke that Craig Ferguson would do improv with himself during the monologue.
Mm-hmm.
He'd go, "Oh, I got to the studio about 9. Was it 9? Could have been 8. Oh," and then it's like a half hour later, there's no guest.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. No. That is.
I didn't mean to bring you guys down.
No.
I didn't know you had a Ferguson shrine over there.
No. I loved my favorite part of his show was him just talking. I really didn't care about the interviews. I appreciated how smart he was, and there was a similar thing I think to Letterman, where the comedy was just a little smarter, and it wasn't even always about comedy. It was about making a point that needed to be made.
Right. Well, I have to admit, I didn't watch much Ferguson to tell.
Well, it was on awfully late.
Well, the other thing is I DVR so much Carson Daly that I don't. That show should be called B-Roll with Carson Daly. It's not even there.
Is that show even still on?
I was just going to say, what? Is he still a thing? No.
Oh, yeah, he's still on because
Wow.
I think it costs $50 to buy the block at 2 a.m.
We got to get on that.
Wow.
That's a hell of an idea.
Really?
Yeah, it's really affordable. And otherwise, I am looking forward to Stephen Colbert because I really love him.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the handoff should have been in '93 was Johnny Carson to Letterman, because Leno really dumbed down the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that the people who love Letterman are very likely to love Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a great pick. At first, I was a little put off because of the whole fictional Stephen Colbert thing, but he's a smart dude and he's very funny. And if he puts those things together, I don't see why he can't do well.
Well, if you like watch like the interviews he does on the show, the old Colbert show, the Colbert Report,
Mm-hmm.
many times he would drop the character during the interview. You don't ask him really.
Right.
I mean, he would go back into it, but you could tell he has a lot of knowledge of the world. I like that he's like, personally. I'm not saying you have to be personally spiritual, but it is nice in the world where I think to get into show business you have to be an atheist. I'm just joking, but it is that he's like spiritual and he's kind and there's no one's funnier than him because just from the correspondence dinner on, he just has been. To me, his stuff is so effective when it's the most effective kind of satire because he's showing you instead of like telling you.
Yeah, and he's so fearless.
Yeah, he really is.
He really is.
I couldn't have been 5 feet from George W. and continue. I would have just bailed on the whole thing.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, he's great.
You mentioned Mark Maron, a man who we want to be best friends with and want to have on our show.
Yeah.
You are on the Maron TV show, the Maron on IFC, and Stacey and I have been talking about this.
Which is such a fabulous show.
It's so great,
by the way.
but it's, and I'm not just completely kissing your ass. I'm a little bit kissing your ass, but I'm being completely honest when I say the best episodes are the ones that you are on.
It's true.
Oh, that's really cool to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that Mark has said I love the show from the first two because I really like to me, like the thing that kind of puts me off about shows like Curb Your Enthusiasm or even more so with like Louis is that I just more drawn to comedy that stays kind of real,
Mm-hmm.
and so and even in Portlandia, which is surreal. There's a certain realness about the characters they're portraying, even though they're heightened, because like Portlandia I could watch forever because I just love, I buy the premise, and so I can, but it's like with shows like Curb Your, like I loved Seinfeld, and I wasn't really aware of all the contrivances they did with all the plots, coming together. But on Curb Your Enthusiasm, I'm so aware of all the contrivances. So I know, like, the homeless man in the first scene is going to show up at the end.
Right.
And so, like, a show like Curb starts out, I'm laughing. You know, I love it because it's Richard Lewis and he's talking to Larry. And then all of a sudden, it spins out to something crazy. And then with Louis, it's like he thinks he's, I don't know, I think he thinks he's a French film director or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I love Louis, but yeah, I know what you mean. It gets
Everybody
dark.
has to say that when they talk to me about Louis. Look, Landy, we're going to keep letting out some rope for you to hang yourself. So, but I mean, like, there's one episode of Louis, like, where he's supposed to see, it was a couple of years ago, supposed to see his Russian father, and then he goes out on a speedboat, end of show, you know.
Right.
Or one year his wife is white, the next year his wife is black,
Right.
and next year I hear his wife is going to be a throw pillow. I mean, it's almost like he's saying, "Oh, are you enjoying this? Okay, well, I'll put a stop to that."
Right. Let's try this.
We've been trying that here on this show for 10 years.
What's that?
Said we've been trying that on this show here for 10 years.
We just flounder, though. We're not afraid. Yeah.
Things are going well. Let's turn it around.
Right. Yeah. As soon as we hit our stride, we turn that ship around and we go back home. That's a bad idea.
So it's been like total thrill for me to be on it, and you know, it's like Mark has been so supportive. And so I love the realness of that show. And then, as Mark will say, every year it just seems to get more and more like he is. You know, they had to kind of find their footing. I love the last episode. I think it was the first year where he fantasizes about what his life would have been if he wasn't a comic.
Right.
Yes.
And it's great. So
thank you
for saying that.
I have a clip here from one of the first shows. I don't remember if this is the first one that you were on, but it was one of the first ones I remember seeing you on.
In the first season, I believe.
And
yeah.
I just fell on the floor after this scene.
This is merch, Andy. No. T-shirts are merch. Coffee mugs are merch. Rush Limbaugh, you can buy a replica of that chair he sits in.
Rush Limbaugh?
Yeah, he makes a chair, and it holds up to 1,000 pounds of hate and bravado.
What do you sell?
I sell comedy, Mark.
Oh.
I sell joy, and I sell wonder.
Oh, you sell everything but tickets. Wait, come on. Are we good? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Fine, you can't hurt me. I'm impervious to whatever it is you're doing.
Oh, God.
What? Are you losing another Twitter war with a 9-year-old?
No, I'm done with that asshole.
God. Oh, God, I just love that so much.
Well, that really is the dynamic between myself and Mark.
Is that like in real life? That's how you guys get along?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is the best. He loves to needle me, and he loves that it brings me pure joy.
There is. It's funny you mentioned Seinfeld, because there's very much a George and Jerry chemistry. I think that when you two are there, it just lights up the show even more than an already great show that it is.
It's effectively, it's interesting you say that because we're making the exact amount of money that.
Right, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm sure.
That's great. That's great.
I get $500,000 an episode. I like the way you didn't even pause before it left.
So your next episode being on Marin, is that airs on Thursday? Is that right?
It's tonight. I don't know. Is it on tonight?
I thought it was next Thursday.
No, I think it's the second episode that was online is tonight, I believe, and then next week would be.
I don't know when I'm on though.
Okay.
Someone will tell me.
But we were complaining because you weren't on enough, because we looked it up and we want to know how many episodes you were on, and
yeah, maybe with the best thing to do would get a little email writing campaign complaining about how little I'm on the show.
We're going to start. We'll start a Twitter war.
Hashtag more Kindler. Hashtag more Kindler.
Exactly. Yeah, it's great.
I'll send out the text of it, and you guys.
You start the war. We'll carry it on
keep it
for
going.
you. It'll be fantastic.
Beautiful.
So I know you've just been doing a lot of festivals. You've been traveling around doing a lot of the stand-up. Are you still doing that, or are you taking a break? Where are you in the schedule?
Well, right now, I actually am on a break right now. But I will be at the big things coming up is the Just for Laughs Festival at the end of July. That's where I give that speech every year, State of the Industry.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Which I say what's wrong with the industry. And So that's always. I always feel bad when things are good because I don't have I need things. I need a certain amount of things to be terrible.
Right.
Well, I will be talking about Billy. I'm fascinated by the new Billy Crystal, Josh Gad show.
Hey, what is it? The comedians? Is that what I think
Yes,
that's what that's
I
called?
believe so.
Yeah, because first of all, it's nice to see that they're giving Josh Gad a shot. Because I don't get to see him on everything.
Right.
He's on almost everything. But I would be so much happier if he was on everything.
Absolutely everything. Yeah.
Do you know I went to my mailbox today and he was in the mailbox. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Did they make Billy Crystal deliver the pamphlet that had him in it?
What's that?
I said, did they make Billy Crystal deliver him into the mailbox? Was that was he officially handing him off to your mailbox?
Well, Billy, the thing that is so great. No, Billy was not in the mailbox. I'm sure for the right price he would be. And I don't know what that means. But here's the thing. Billy Crystal, it's unbelievable. Have you seen the show?
No, I've only seen the preview that runs, I don't know, once every month or so.
Right,
it's
I haven't
rare.
seen it either,
I don't see a lot of it.
Do yourself a favor, and then when you're done with that, go see this show. That's an old line of mine, and I love that line.
That's a good
Do
line.
yourself a favor. That's over. Watch this. And it's one of these things like it's behind the scenes, but it's like behind the scenes of vaudeville, but it's in the current day. Because Billy Crystal brings that vaudeville personality. And then Josh Gad said that working with Billy Crystal was working with like an encyclopedia of comedy. And I just want to say it's a 1957 World Book.
Oh, God.
I'm glad you got that reference because a lot of the kids today, they don't know from World Book or Collier's or Encyclopedia Britannica.
Oh, we had encyclopedias. I
These
remember those.
hipsters with their Wikipedia.
Right.
What are you going to do?
The old days, you could go, you didn't have to go online. You could go to a book that gave you already outdated information.
Exactly.
Outdated information at your fingertips.
And really heavy.
And you could go right to the Sears catalog for your ladies in their underwear
Exactly,
pictures. I mean, that's the way it was supposed to be.
Yes, exactly. Those were the days when you could buy uncomfortable clothing not even online.
Out of a catalog where you had to go pick it up.
And you could wait 3 weeks for it.
You could wait 3 weeks, go pick it up, drive it home, find out it didn't fit, and then drive all the way back to return it. Those were the days. Wow.
These kids today, they don't have the experience of that kind of thing.
They have no idea. Yeah. They just are accepting of Josh Gad in everything. It's ridiculous.
But more. What is more? Well, first of all, why won't they give Jonah Hill a shot?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't you think Paul Rudd should be in? Why can't Paul Rudd play every role in the movie?
Right.
And I get up every day thinking, what's the next Seth Rogen vehicle? What's it going to be?
Can't wait. What is it?
What world dictator is he going to take down?
Oh, God. I saw the trailer I saw the other day.
I think he's going to do a nice movie about encyclopedias next.
Now, that's an idea.
The trailer I saw the other day for the movie that I wish would have been stopped in its tracks is it's either Pixel or Pixels.
Mm-hmm.
It's this new Adam Sandler deal where they're like fighting Super Mario Brother and Donkey Kong like in real life.
Fine. And you know what I say? Finally.
Yeah, at last.
That's all. And also, I slap myself in the head and say, why didn't I come up with that horrible idea? Did you read the other thing about the movie he's making with Native Americans?
Mm-mm.
I read about some controversy and I didn't get.
They walked off the set.
Mm-hmm.
And the advisor, the Native American advisor, walked off the set. They're giving. Here's the names of I think some of the Native Americans: Beaver Breath.
Oh God.
I don't know how G-rated this is.
Oh no,
swear
away.
That's fine.
Squats while peeing.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
Oh, man.
Not since Blended has an area of the world been treated with such sensitivity.
That's awful.
It's just
the writers of F Troop complain.
Oh God. When are you coming back to Seattle?
Yes.
And get on it. We miss you up
Yeah.
here. Or Kirkland if you prefer.
What I'm asking you. That's what your job is.
Yeah. We can make some calls.
We'll start a Twitter thing, Jeremy.
We know some people.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I think is happening. I think there's maybe somebody trying to put some one-nighters together for me, and something, because I have to come back. It's the greatest city. I love the city. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great city.
And I'm not being. I know you said we were waiting for a zinger.
I am. I'm waiting for the punchline.
Zinger.
You just love Seattle.
I'll go with this one. Hey, could there be any more rain? Hey, can someone give me directions to a Starbucks?
Right.
But now Seattle has amazing coffee, independent coffee shops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of one name now, but I know they do have tons.
Yeah, there's Uptown Espresso off the top of my head. There's a good one.
That place that guy, Paul Ryan, runs. Yeah.
Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan.
That was a callback to when I couldn't remember stuff
Right,
earlier,
right.
in case you didn't know.
All the women have called me up to say how excited they get when they see those photos of Paul Ryan ripped.
Right. God,
because that's every woman's dream.
Oh,
A
gross.
right-wing hunk.
Oh, God. Oh, so awful. Yeah, no wonder I couldn't remember his name.
Hey, I hear a lot of women, they're progressive in their regular life, but they're right-wing in the bedroom.
Right, conservative in the bedroom. That's hot. Yeah, wow. I'm wearing all my Sears catalog garb just for you. I'm going to have to return it later, though.
I haven't been this on in about 4 years, so we should be recording a lot of this.
We should have. That would have been a good idea.
That would have been a good idea. Yeah.
Damn, missed opportunity. Andy, we always have so much fun, and by always, I mean this the second time. We always have so much fun talking to you. Thank you so much for making time available for us.
Yeah.
Anytime, please seek me out.
We do. We stalk you on Twitter and retweet everything we can find because you're a hilarious comedian and a really fun guy to get to talk to. So thank you so much for your time.
I should be following you guys. Let me rectify everything.
Please do.
Yes.
And tell all your friends.
Absolutely.
I will. All of my friends. I don't know. I don't know what that meant. You know what? This is the way everything I do ends. My stage name used to be Fizzles.
We love it. That's what we wanted.
Oh, God, exactly.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Andy. Have a great night.
Have a good night. Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
I love that man.
I know.
Oh, my God, that was
He's
great.
the best. Yeah.
Fuck.
He's so great.
I'm just sweating.
Sweating. I know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can just keep going because Aaron's gone. He's doing a thing.
Oh,
we
okay.
might as well just wrap up the show right there.
All right. Let's wrap it up. That was
Andy
great.
Kindler, very funny guy.
I loved every minute of it.
I'm exhausted.
I know.
The dude
I'm sweaty.
He's just funny. He's just funny. Love him. Check him out on Marin. He's on a break right now, but I think he's got some one-night shows coming up.
Start some shit with him on Twitter. He likes that.
He loves the Twitter wars. He's always on the Twitter. Check out Andy Kindler on the next episode of Marin and on several other episodes of Marin. It's on IFC. And thank you so much to Andy Kindler. Very fun guy to talk to. Again, we told you at the top of the show, we got the big live event coming up August 21st. We hope you guys will get your tickets as soon as we make them available because there's plenty of room. Especially up in that desolate loge area.
Oh, desolate loge!
We'll have plenty of room.
I forgot to tell him how much I love desolate loge.
In the desolate loge.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe we'll offer discounted seats for the desolate loge.
Desolate loge. God, I love that joke.
I hope there's. I don't think there's a mezzanine. Anyways, come on out August 21st. We'll be at Jet City Improv in the U District ish is kind of their ballpark, and check us out on Spotify when that comes out later in the year. We're going to get out of here because I'm exhausted, I'm hot, and I'm sweaty.
Yep.
Ick. Thank you, Andy Kindler. Thank you for listening to the show. Check us out on Twitter at @sibling_rivalry. We're on Facebook. And we're on a whole bunch of new things. We're on the Clamor. We're doing some periscoping. Lots of good stuff. Check it all out. We'll see you guys on Monday at thesiblingrivalry.com.
What? Are you losing another Twitter war with a 9-year-old?
No, I'm done with that asshole.